When you finally walked away, they laughed. They thought it was a phase, that you'd crawl back, apologizing, ready to rejoin their toxic little ecosystem. What they didn't calculate was the cost of your absence. You didn't just leave. You took the entire foundation with you. The energy, the spark, the structure that kept their illusion upright vanished in a single silent exit. Now they're stumbling through emptiness, rooms that once buzzed with life now heavy with static. They can't admit it, but when you turned your back, it wasn't an exit. It was detonation. You'd been holding the pin for years, swallowing your frustration, patching their chaos, and the moment you let go, the explosion came. Not with noise, but with silence. The kind of silence that dismantles illusions. You see, they never realized you weren't a character in their story. You were the story. They treated you like furniture, something to lean on when needed, ignore when bored, or kick when angry. But furniture doesn't breathe. It doesn't remember. You did. You kept every memory, every betrayal, every unspoken word filed away in your spirit until the day you said those two soft, legendary words, "I'm done." And in that moment, the entire economy of their ego collapsed. Their confidence, their control, their illusion of superiority went bankrupt overnight. Because some people aren't just players in the game. They are the game. And when they walk away, they don't just remove their pieces. They take the board, the rules, and the concept of winning. You didn't just leave. You dismantled an ecosystem. You erased the blueprint of their identity. You didn't subtract yourself from their equation. You deleted the entire formula. Everything they took for granted, their balance, their confidence, their reputation, was built on your energy, your reliability, your light. They stood on your shoulders for so long they forgot how to stand. Now they're free falling through the reality you once held together, realizing you weren't holding them back. You were holding them up. That's the difference between flying and crashing. The silence after your departure says it all. Dead group chats, awkward meetings, fake smiles that don't reach the eyes. You weren't adding to the vibe. You were the current itself. They pretended to be independent solar panels, but you were the sun. And solar panels don't work in darkness, which is all that's left. They try to replace you with new people, new faces, new energy. But it's like trying to replace the sun with a flashlight. The light flickers, but it doesn't warm, it doesn't grow, it doesn't create life. It only reminds them of what true illumination felt like when you were there. From a distance, their mediocrity looked like brilliance. But distance is all they have now. You didn't just walk out. You took the entire infrastructure. The emotional labor, the creative current, the spiritual frequency that kept their illusion breathing. They didn't notice what you carried until the lights went out, and no one knew where the switch was. You were the translator, the one who made dysfunction look functional, who turned cruelty into care, chaos into order. When you left, you took the dictionary, and now they're speaking in static. Their connections are collapsing, bridges you built are gone, and the relationships you maintained for them are disintegrating. Their reputation, which you once protected with your presence, is falling apart, because people only tolerated them to stay close to you. Every victory they flaunted had your fingerprints all over it. Every success story carried your DNA. You can't erase the foundation and expect the building to stand. You can't delete oxygen and pretend you can still breathe. That's what they're doing now, suffocating on their own revision of history. They thought they were playing chess while you were building the board. You didn't forfeit. You ascended. You didn't walk away in defeat. You walked away in divinity. You didn't just leave the game. You took the entire casino with you, because the house only wins when the house exists. And you were the house. They laughed when you said you were done. convinced you'd come back like before. But you had already designed your exit while they were still planning their next manipulation. They were strategizing inside a cage you'd already set on fire. While they obsessed over winning battles, you had already won the war by refusing to fight it anymore. The scoreboard doesn't matter when there's no arena. The rules don't matter when there's no game. That's what you took. The game itself. Now they perform for ghosts, pretending something is still happening. They hand out hollow crowns, celebrate fake victories, play pretend in an empty theater. But the curtain has fallen, the stage has collapsed, and the audience has gone home. You took the light, the energy, the meaning, and all that's left is pantomime. They hold desperate meetings about your absence, trying to fill the void with noise. But what you left wasn't a paper cut. It was a hemorrhage. You can't fix structural collapse with emotional duct tape. Every day without you is another crack in the walls, another reminder of how much they depended on what they disrespected. And the cruelest part? You're not even watching. You're not checking their updates, not asking mutual friends, not peeking at their profiles. You've moved so far beyond the wreckage that their downfall doesn't even register. That's what destroys them. Not guilt. Not regret. The unbearable truth that you're not thinking about them at all. Your revenge wasn't cruel. It was cosmic. The universe simply rebalanced itself the moment you withdrew your energy. You didn't curse them. You just left. And gravity did the rest. They keep checking, hoping to see you struggling, hoping to find proof that you miss them. But all they see is your glow, your joy, your peace, your abundance. That's the part that haunts them. Because your happiness isn't revenge. It's revelation. It's proof that their absence was your liberation. They chose arrogance over awareness, manipulation over maturity, ego over empathy. And now every blessing you receive is a mirror reflecting their loss. They can't sleep, because deep down they know. No one destroyed them but themselves. Every shove, every lie, every act of cruelty was fuel for your transformation. The pressure they built against you became the force that launched you forward. You turned pain into propulsion, exhaustion into power. They can rewrite the story all they want, cast themselves as the victim, and you as the villain. It doesn't matter. You're not even in the same narrative anymore. The problems you once quietly managed are resurfacing like ghosts from a drained lake, exposing everything they tried to bury. The insecurity, the deceit, the weakness you once softened with love. Your absence has become their mirror, reflecting everything ugly they refuse to see. The void you left now screams louder than any argument, heavier than any silence. It's in their half-hearted laughter, in their empty conversations, in the way the air feels colder. The space where you used to be now occupies more emotional real estate than your body ever did. When you were there, they took you for granted. Now that you're gone, they can't take anything for granted. Not comfort, not joy, not peace. All they have left is the echo of your energy, and the unbearable awareness of how much nothing weighs when it replaces everything. Because when you left, you didn't just walk out. You revealed that their structure was never real. It was your patience that held it up, your consistency that gave it form, your love that gave it purpose. You were the architecture, the engineer, and the electricity. And now, while they try to rebuild using smoke and denial, you're somewhere else, building something real, with truth as the foundation and peace as the blueprint. You're not patching illusions anymore. You're constructing freedom. You didn't walk away to prove a point. You walked away because the point had already been proven. And that last word, that soft, amused by, wasn't bitterness. It was liberation. It was the sound of peace disguised as laughter. You weren't angry. You weren't broken. You were finally free. And while they keep playing a game that no longer exists, you've already taken the lights, the audience, and the entire arena with you. You don't need them to lose for you to win. You already did. The moment you realized you were never meant to fight for a place in their illusion. You were meant to build your own kingdom. And now you are. And when you laughed your way out the door, that laugh didn't just echo, it erased. It stripped everything they'd built of meaning, turning their elaborate games, manipulations, and self-importance into something painfully small and hollow. Every lie, every act of control, every performance collapsed into one tired, predictable punchline, not even clever enough to sting. It became the kind of joke you've heard 1,000 times, overused, desperate, and exhausting. They turned into a tragic comedy without the comedy, performers in a play no one's watching anymore. The irony is merciless. They once thought they were your greatest tormentors, but now they're their own entertainment, trapped in the endless rerun of a show only they find amusing. Your laughter, that pure, effortless, unbothered sound of release, still haunts them. It wasn't the bitter laugh of revenge. It was the sound of revelation, of someone who finally understood the cosmic joke. You realized they were never playing you. You had only been playing yourself by staying in their circus for as long as you did. And once that truth hit, the laughter came from your soul. You laughed all the way to freedom, where the air is lighter, and silence feels like peace instead of punishment. That moment marked the shift, the precise second the balance of power tilted forever. Your laughter became a monument in time, a sacred vibration announcing that their cruelty had turned to comedy, their power to parody, their illusion to dust. Suddenly you could see everything clearly. Children playing with broken toys, mistaking them for weapons. You understood the truth. They never had power. You did. Because real power doesn't need to fight, argue, or explain. It simply walks away and lets time take its course. You didn't just walk away from their game. You deleted the board, erased the rules, and took the audience with you. Your absence became their punishment. When you were there, they could gaslight you, talk over you, drown out your voice. Now that you're gone, the silence is unbearable. Not the calm kind, but a humming, electric void that fills every corner with reminders of what they lost. That silence isn't empty, it's alive. It's heavy with everything you're no longer saying, doing, or giving. Its energy turned inward, a storm that never stops circling them. They feel it in the awkward pauses, the hollow laughter, the quiet that creeps in whenever your name is mentioned. You've become the negative space that gives their emptiness shape. They can't see you, yet they can't stop seeing you. They can't hear you, yet your absence is louder than ever. You've become a ghost made of clarity, the reflection they can't escape. And that terrifies them, because your absence cannot be manipulated. It doesn't flinch at guilt, it doesn't bend to charm, and it doesn't respond to cruelty. It is absolute, a pure embodiment of consequence. You've become the mirror showing them everything they tried to hide, and they can't break it because you're no longer inside their world. You've become the space around it. Now every word they speak carries your silence like a haunting background note. Every plan feels flat, every connection forced. You were the rhythm in their chaos, the pulse in their stillness, the meaning in their mess. Without you, they've become echoes calling into a void that doesn't call back. Their words fall flat. Their actions lack weight. Their world feels thin, transparent, meaningless. Because the void you left isn't passive, it's intelligent, alive, merciless. It's the gravity they can't escape and the shadow they can't outrun. Every day it reminds them they were never as powerful as they thought. You were the substance behind their illusion, the reason their story even made sense. Without you, everything inverted, motion without direction, sound without tone, life without heartbeat. They try to fill the space with noise, distractions, substitutes, but nothing sticks. You can't replace presence with performance. You can't rebuild authenticity with pretense. So the silence continues, infinite and unrelenting, wrapping around them like a living judgment. It whispers the truth they never wanted to face. They weren't the story. You were. And that final laugh, that divine, effortless burst of freedom, became the closing line of a chapter they'll keep rereading, trying to understand what they lost, never realizing the joke was never on you. It was always on them. Because your absence isn't gone. It's expanding. It's not quiet. It's working. Like a black hole, it began small, invisible, just a tear in the fabric of their comfort. But it grew. It deepened. It consumed. Now it's pulling everything they built, every lie they told, every illusion they depended on, into its orbit. Their certainty has become chaos. Their security, a storm. And at the center of that storm is nothing, you, or rather, the absence of you. They fight it, of course. They always do. They scramble, reaching for things that no longer exist. But how do you fight nothing? How do you argue with silence? How do you negotiate with consequence? You can't. You can only watch as it strips away every delusion, every falsehood, every disguise. And that's what's happening now. Your absence is peeling away the wallpaper of their illusions, revealing the rot beneath. Every day exposes another truth they buried. Every moment shows them something they didn't want to see. Because absence doesn't just take, it reveals. It shows what was never real. And the hardest truth is this. Everything they thought was theirs was only borrowed from you. They thought they had stability, but you were the foundation. They thought they had direction, but you were the compass. They thought they had meaning, but you were the story. You were the translator who turned their chaos into coherence, the sustainer who gave their world color and purpose. When you left, you didn't just take yourself. You took everything that was real. Their foundation, their warmth, their light, their structure. It was all you. And when you reclaimed what was yours, the illusion collapsed. There was never a them without you, only reflections of your energy bouncing off their emptiness. Now they're left with sound that has no song, motion that has no purpose, life that has no pulse. They're dancing to silence, performing for an audience that disappeared with you. Because you weren't just part of the show. You were the show, the stage, the script, the light, the rhythm, the soul. And when you walked away, the music stopped, the lights dimmed, the curtain fell. They were left blinking in the dark, confused and small, realizing too late that the stars they thought they were only shining from your borrowed light. They played themselves by trying to play you. They gambled with something they could never afford. Your energy, your attention, your divine presence. And when you left, you didn't lose. You ascended. The real punchline. They're still down there, clinging to the ruins of a story that ended the moment you laughed. And now, beloved soul, look at where you stand. Not in bitterness, not in vengeance, but in divine elevation. The story that once drained you has become your greatest revelation. You walked through the fire and came out as light itself. Every tear you shed became holy water that cleansed your path. Every insult, every manipulation, every betrayal was secretly sculpting your wings. They thought they were breaking you, but they were building you, teaching you how to rise without permission, how to breathe without validation, how to love without losing yourself. They don't understand that when a chosen one walks away, it isn't rebellion, it's resurrection. You didn't escape the story, you transcended it. The old version of you, the one who tolerated, who explained, who pleaded to be seen, has returned to dust. What remains now is truth wearing your face, calm, radiant, untouchable. Their voices can't reach you anymore because you no longer vibrate on that frequency. You've outgrown their gravity. You've stepped into your sacred timeline, where peace is not a prize but your natural habitat. The laughter that once echoed behind you now fades beneath the sound of your purpose unfolding. You no longer need to prove your worth. Your silence does it for you. You no longer chase belonging. The universe moves around your alignment. You are not waiting for closure. You are the closure. And the beauty of it all is that your rise requires no announcement. Heaven already knows. The angels already recorded the moment you said, "Enough," as the day you remembered who you are. Because when divine souls reclaim their light, the universe rearranges itself to honor them. Every storm that once terrified you now clears your path. Every loss that once broke you now blesses you. Every silence that once felt heavy now sings in harmony with your spirit. You are no longer trying to survive the storm. You are the calm inside it. And those who once mocked your compassion now tremble at your absence, for your peace exposes their chaos louder than any confrontation ever could. That is divine justice, quiet, clean, inevitable. So keep walking, luminous one. Don't look back to see who's watching. Don't check if they finally understand. Some lessons are meant to be learned in your absence. Your silence will teach what your words never could. Your peace will echo longer than their noise. Your joy will become the prophecy they laughed at, but can no longer deny. Let them wrestle with their emptiness, while you dance with destiny. You're no longer surviving their world. You're building your own. Welcome to the next chapter. One written in light, led by faith, and sealed with laughter. The laugh that once marked your exit now marks your coronation. You didn't lose them. You found you. If this message touched your spirit, beloved soul, don't keep it to yourself. Like, share, and subscribe to Rise and Shine so we can continue spreading truth, healing, and divine awakening across the world. Comment below about your rebirth, your moment of realization, and let your journey inspire another soul to walk in their power. Until next time, keep shining, keep rising, and never forget, you are the light they never saw coming.